Here's the most reckless police chief I've ever seen. He suddenly opened the train door and started to pee outside. A kind man advised him, that's very dangerous. But the chief didn't care, saying, I'm a professional. As a result, he immediately made intimate contact with the ground. The man couldn't help but exclaim, the chief is really strong. He fell asleep as soon as he lay down. Early the next morning, a group of police officers were patrolling the train. The man was utterly bewildered. It turned out he had robbed his boss of $3 million the day before, money that the man had earned with great difficulty, and it was all gone. This time, they would at least save 10 years of effort. The man's name was Sasha. He and his teammates split up. Sasha's teammates flew to Primorai, while Sasha took the train. They agreed that if anything unexpected happened, they would send a single dot message. For Sasha's teammates, everything went smoothly. But for Sasha, it wasn't like that. As soon as he got on the train, the police chief opened his compartment door. Fortunately, the chief was just a passenger on this train, on his way to take up a new post elsewhere. Sasha suggested they have a drink for fun. Unexpectedly, after getting drunk, the chief suddenly said, "You are a criminal, surrender now." This statement sent chills down Sasha's spine. Luckily, the chief was just joking, but the joke made him break out in a cold sweat. After getting tipsy, the chief went out to relieve himself. Sasha followed him out and suddenly saw the chief open the train door and then urinate outside. The chief ignored Sasha's warnings and got off the train before reaching the destination. Early the next morning, Sasha received a call from his accomplice. His accomplice said that everything was going smoothly on their end, but at that moment, someone behind him had a gun pointed at his head. In that critical moment, Sasha's accomplice sent a signal. Sasha saw a signal and immediately knew something had happened. But just then, the police arrived to search for contraband. His beautiful life, which hadn't even begun, was shattered. Sasha decisively put on the police chief's uniform, pretending to be the chief. He was surprised to pass the inspection. Sasha went to a restaurant to think about his next move. A waiter approached and said someone had skipped out on their bill. Sasha blurted out, "What does that have to do with me?" Then he realized he was wearing a police uniform. He could only make an excuse that he was off duty today. When he saw the other man's behavior becoming increasingly brazen, openly bullying the restaurant staff, Sasha couldn't stand it anymore and intervened. At this moment, Sasha suddenly came up with a plan, to use the police chief's identity to forge a passport and then disappear. After that, Sasha took all the documents to the police station. From this moment on, he was officially Police Chief Gavrilov. All the police officers stood at attention, waiting for Sasha's orders. Unexpectedly, their first task was to go to the pub next door for a drink, and Sasha was buying. Sasha was truly skilled at bribing others. Sasha saw Natalia from the police station and said to his subordinates, "That's a nice figure, that's my mother." Everyone raised their glasses to welcome Sasha. The first day passed just like that. But what if the real police chief arrived? What would Sasha do? He took down the chief's picture and replaced it with his own, using a pen to blacken the chief's passport photo. After he finished, a boss came to curry favor with Sasha. It seemed that this police chief position was indeed not bad. The boss said, thanks to Sasha's arrival, the other party had to pay more protection money. Of course, Sasha wouldn't let those thugs run rampant. When Sasha was a robber, they were just teething. So Sasha arranged to meet the two thugs to teach them a lesson. The thug immediately said he would solve all the problems. The two sides shook hands and made peace. But when Police Chief Sasha returned to his office, his subordinate brought him a letter full of cash. How could he refuse the subordinate's kindness? Sasha happily accepted and put it away. But the boss came to Sasha again, saying his protection money had increased. The thug said he had to set aside a portion of the money as a tribute to Sasha. It was then that Sasha realized the thug had understood his intention, so he asked the boss to arrange another meeting with the group of thugs. This time, the thug's attitude was very firm. If Sasha doesn't accept, this protection money will all be ours. Sasha told the thug to look to the side. He thought it was a camera. Sasha said, that's just a normal deer head. Knowing he had been tricked, the thug grabbed Sasha's collar. This time Sasha had a reason for legitimate self-defense and immediately broke his finger. The thug could only obediently obey and no longer dared to collect protection money. But Sasha was not one to eat alone. Sasha played a reverse bribery game, distributing the money he received equally among his subordinates. This time, everyone lined up to thank Sasha. Very quickly, Sasha received the next case. The salesperson at the phone store said their store's phone had been stolen. As soon as Sasha arrived at the store, he discovered a loophole, intentionally taking a phone out the door. The alarm immediately sounded. As a result, seeing the playing cards on the keychain on the table, Sasha concluded that the other party was a gambler in urgent need of money, so he was robbing and feigning innocence here. After making a phone call demanding money, the salesperson immediately revealed his weakness. Sasha's subordinate still didn't believe him. Sasha brought out his true skill, playing cards with the salesperson. After a few rounds, the salesperson continuously won, grinning from ear to ear. Seeing that the other party had let down his guard, Sasha only used one round to turn the tables. The salesperson was severely shocked. If he couldn't pay the money, he would surely lose his life. Sasha seized the opportunity to ask. It was then that he told the truth, that he had stolen and feigned innocence, and promised to be an informant for Sasha. The subordinate sitting next to him was extremely surprised and impressed by Sasha's talent. That day, young police officer Nikolai saw a homeless man rummaging through a trash can. He thought the other party was a drunk causing trouble, so he brought him before Sasha. As soon as Sasha saw him, he was immediately bewildered, because the other party was indeed Police Chief Gavrilov. After examination, the doctor diagnosed that Gavrilov's brain was damaged due to continuous accidents. In addition, Gavrilov had fallen from the train but had not died. He went to the roadside intending to hitchhike but was accidentally hit by another car. Two people saw him lying motionless and decided to do a good deed by carrying him and throwing him into the bushes. But Gavrilov, carried on the backs of an old couple, crawled out of the bushes and went to the police station. Hearing the doctor say he wanted to take an MRI of Sasha, Sasha immediately stopped him. What if Gavrilov is a criminal and harms others when he recovers? The doctor, understanding, left to let Sasha decide. He took Gavrilov to a mental hospital. That day, Sasha received news from the school principal that a child at school was extorting money from a friend with a knife. Although the boy denied it, the other party was the mayor's son. The principal refused to listen to the boy's explanation, insisting that he had hit his friend and even brought two other friends as witnesses. The principal mocked the child. This is the kind of child without a father's teaching, so unruly. She immediately decided to expel the boy. The boy's mother, Ludmila, begged the principal not to expel her son. Besides this school nearby, there's another school 50 kilometers away. Sasha also disagreed. I didn't have a father when I was little, but that doesn't affect the fact that I am currently the police chief. Besides, that knife wasn't sharp at all, it could only be used to scare people. Because that knife had been given to the boy by Sasha beforehand. Sasha spoke privately with the boy and learned the whole story. The mayor's son and two other friends had bullied him, and then he wanted to use the knife to scare them. Unexpectedly, they blamed him instead and even accused him of extortion. Sasha went to talk to the two boys. Since they fabricated evidence, they will have to go to jail. Just then, young police officer Nikolai arrived with photos he had taken. In addition, the two boys had urinated on the mayor's car. Sasha said, if you don't tell the truth, Sasha will show this photo to the mayor. The two kids could only tell the truth. The mayor saw the video of them bullying the boy and immediately fell silent. The principal, trying to cover for her son, said, perhaps this video was maliciously edited. The mayor didn't want everyone to know that his son was a problem student at school, so he decided not to pursue the matter further. The chief next to him arrogantly threw money around. Sasha looked at his pocket. There was nothing left inside. Not only that, but his impersonation of the police chief was also discovered by everyone. His subordinates were furious one after another. Sasha immediately woke up. It turned out to be just a nightmare. As soon as he woke up, Sasha immediately checked the money in his pocket and saw that the 3 million he had stolen was still there. At this point, he felt at ease. But today, the atmosphere at the police station was extremely strange. As soon as Sasha went downstairs, his colleagues immediately changed the subject as if they were afraid he would overhear. At the same time, someone secretly held Sasha's picture, which gave him a premonition that something bad was about to happen. Could the dream scene be about to come true? Sasha didn't have time to think much when Nikolai arrived asking for help. They had to visit a man who was experiencing domestic violence. The neighbors said that the woman in this house was extremely terrifying. Her two previous husbands had both gone missing. Last night, there were sounds of fighting in the house. The man said he hadn't done anything. Of course he was beaten, but he didn't dare to resist. Hearing the door open, he told Sasha not to reveal his identity. Sasha wasn't scared at all. Isn't it just a woman? How scary could she be? The landlady saw uninvited guests and immediately raised her hand to hit her husband but was stopped by Sasha. But immediately after, Nikolai was stunned and bewildered. It must have been Sasha slipping and falling here. Sasha changed his fighting style. He calmly talked to the landlady. When he learned that her two previous husbands had both been lured away by her sister, that's why she was so possessive of her husband. She hit her husband because he secretly looked at a woman at the post office yesterday. The man explained that at that time he was looking longingly. The two cleared up their misunderstanding and excitedly embraced each other. On the way back to the police station, Nikolai, unsteady with his phone, let Sasha overhear Natalia's message. You must keep a close eye on Sasha, don't let him go back to the police station. Nikolai quickly explained, they are exterminating pests at the police station. Sasha looked at him as if to say, do you think I believe you? The two returned to the police station and knocked out Nikolai. Just as Sasha was preparing to leave, he remembered his 3 million was still in the office. He secretly went back to the office, grabbed the bag, and prepared to flee, but he was still discovered. When he went inside, he realized everyone was preparing a surprise birthday party for him. Sasha suddenly fired a shot to the side, the bullet passing through the middle of his own picture, startling the police officers. After calming down, they continued to sing and dance. This was also the first time Sasha saw everyone so relaxed. Ludmila saw Sasha leave and held the gift she had prepared earlier, intending to give it to him. Suddenly, she saw Sasha happily occupied with Natalia, and she could only leave disappointed. After a long time as police chief, Sasha gradually developed a police officer's intuition. The windshield of this car was severely damaged, and the front bumper was loose and about to fall off. When asked, the car owner still appeared bewildered and scared. It was clear at first glance that it was a car involved in an accident. He immediately arrested the two and took them to the station for questioning. Sasha and his colleague, one hitting, one soothing, a slap and then candy, but the two still wouldn't confess. At this point, the man who was abused by his wife appeared, giving Sasha an idea of how to solve the case. Sasha asked other colleagues to pretend to be witnesses, and the man to pretend to be the victim. He brought them before them. These two hit me on a busy street, and then fled after the accident. Their behavior is extremely vicious and they must be imprisoned. Suddenly having to bear a crime they didn't commit, the man in the red shirt quickly explained, "We clearly hit someone on the highway, and the person hit wasn't as thin as this. You're talking nonsense, I even have a car dash cam as evidence to prove my innocence." The two rushed back to get the camera's memory card. They didn't watch it then, but when they did, they were terrified. At this moment, Sasha realized that the person they hit was the real police chief. Damn it. Sasha, while his colleagues weren't paying attention, deleted the video. Then he called the two and said, "There's nothing inside." Sasha's colleagues were furious. "You dare to tease the police? 2 days ago, there was a pharmacy robbery, was that also done by you too? This time, even if you jump into the Yellow River, you won't be able to wash away your sins." But Sasha suddenly let them go. "Anyway, there's no victim reporting the case now." Then he manipulated his colleague's psychology. Sometimes justice is higher than the law, and compassion is higher than justice. This time, Sasha could smoothly act as a police officer, and he also won Natalia's heart. Even Ludmila secretly admired him. His colleagues heard a noise in Sasha's office and were very understanding, waiting outside. And Nikolai was about to go in. He didn't want to be fired tomorrow for some ridiculous reason. After hearing no more noise inside, he went in to report. Hearing that the police chief's wife had arrived, Sasha was terrified. "Oh no, if this continues, my identity will surely be revealed." But Sasha still pretended to be calm and told his wife to wait at the cafe downstairs. Natalia, standing nearby, heard that Sasha was married and left angrily. When she returned to her office, she called the cafe employee, Ludmila, and asked her to monitor Sasha and the chief's wife. Ludmila reluctantly agreed. Sasha pretended to be the chief's colleague and went to meet her. When he learned that the chief's wife had come here to divorce, Sasha breathed a sigh of relief, picked up the divorce papers, and prepared to return to his office to sign. Natalia reminded Sasha, "If you are absent 3 times from the divorce hearing, they will automatically divorce." So why did the chief's wife travel all this way to ask for a signature? Sasha looked closely and found that she wanted to share one of police officer Gavrilov's houses. Although he found the other party's actions unjust, he couldn't take advantage of the other party's unconsciousness to let him be robbed of all his property. Gavrilov's wife, seeing Gavrilov was absent, used her charm, touching Sasha's hand and wanting him to put in a good word for her. But coincidentally, this scene was captured by Ludmila and sent to Natalia. When Sasha went out, Natalia immediately arrived to declare her claim. The battle between the two women immediately erupted without warning. They grabbed each other's hair and refused to let go. Natalia took the opportunity to grab a wine bottle and hit Gavrilov's wife on the head. Gavrilov's wife was taken to the hospital. When Sasha arrived at the hospital, he saw Gavrilov looking at his wife. He quickly intervened, chasing Gavrilov away. If Gavrilov sees his wife and remembers his past memories, it will be over. After examination, Gavrilov's wife was unharmed. Sasha began to persuade her, "Your behavior falls under assaulting a police officer, and you should have been arrested. Luckily, I spoke up for you in front of Natalia, which kept you from being punished, but you must leave here quickly." Gavrilov's wife, hearing that she wouldn't go to jail, immediately left. While crossing the street, Sasha was almost hit by a car. The driver not only didn't apologize but also blamed Sasha for running a red light. Sasha, being someone who sought revenge, immediately grabbed the other's nose, preparing to break it. But he never expected that the driver was his superior, a colonel, and furthermore, the other party was there to conduct a physical fitness test for the police officers. Sasha conducted a trial test to gauge everyone's strength beforehand. Everyone showed great camaraderie. The physical fitness of the entire police station was astonishingly weak. Chin-ups couldn't be done, tire flips couldn't be done, and jogging was even worse. After not even one afternoon of training, everyone was exhausted and lying sprawled on the ground. Sasha noticed Natalia wasn't there. When he asked, he learned that her relationship with the colonel was very good. Every year she was exempted from the test, she just had to drink coffee in the office. Sasha asked the colonel out. The colonel's eyes landed on Ludmila, his gaze never left her, and he even flirted with her in front of Sasha. Sasha told her to go elsewhere, then grabbed his superior's nose and warned him, "If you continue like this, he won't go easy on you." The superior could only leave. On the day of the test, everyone was tormented, living a life worse than death. Each person suffered their own consequences. Sasha went to see the colonel and said, "You can pinch my nose as hard as you want." But how could the colonel let Sasha off so easily? He demanded that Sasha run 10 kilometers, and also wear a gas mask. Sasha agreed. The first 2 laps Sasha ran easily, but gradually Sasha found it harder to breathe and started hallucinating, finally collapsing. Sasha's colleagues quickly ran over and took off his gas mask. Seeing Sasha like this, the colonel decided to let them off. Since Sasha arrived at this police station, the crime rate in the surrounding area has been decreasing. Colleagues gathered here to congratulate Sasha on his promotion. He was definitely the best thief to become a police chief. Sasha went to work at the bank and coincidentally encountered a robbery. He carefully looked at the tattoo on the robber's arm. Isn't this the guy he played dice with in prison? Meeting an old acquaintance this time? The robber pointed a gun at the bank teller and threatened, "Hand over all the money now." The teller took the opportunity to press the alarm button and then decisively handed over the money. Suddenly, Sasha appeared behind the robber with a gun. As the two pointed guns at each other, they simultaneously recognized each other. Sasha gestured for him not to speak, letting him take him hostage, and also promised him 300,000 ransom and a car. The robber casually took Ludmila hostage as well. Sasha drove the two away. In the car, the robber was very curious. How can a robber like Sasha become a police chief? When the robber was about to reveal his identity, Sasha slammed on the brakes, causing Ludmila, who was in the passenger seat, to hit her head on the car and pass out. Sasha said, "I'll get the robber safely to the bus station." The robber thought he had Sasha cornered and pushed his luck, demanding to take Ludmila with him. Sasha domineeringly said, "This is the woman I like." The two got out of the car and argued. Facing the gun barrel, Sasha was fearless. But when the robber pointed the gun at Ludmila, Sasha relented. He could only watch helplessly as the robber drove away. In the car, Ludmila suddenly woke up and sprayed the robber in the face with pepper spray. The car immediately went out of control. Sasha quickly ran to rescue Ludmila, then fired a few shots at the robber, but he didn't kill him, just warned him, "Don't ever come back here again." That night, Sasha returned to the police station. Ludmila actively kissed him. This heroic act of rescuing the damsel in distress successfully won Sasha Ludmila's heart. And just as Sasha had both a career and love, Sasha's boss sent people to investigate his whereabouts. The two of them unfortunately crashed their car into a wall and were taken to the hospital. Coincidentally, the boss shared a hospital room with police officer Gavrilov. As soon as Sasha opened the door, he was terrified. "Oh my god, if these three are together, my identity will be exposed soon." So he lied that the two people who had just been in the accident were suspected drug traffickers and asked the doctor to help him pretend to be a burn patient and stay in that hospital room. The two, seeing Sasha lying still as if dead, began to discuss freely. Indeed, they came here for Sasha. One of them even said emphatically, "I can smell Sasha, Sasha must be nearby." Sasha immediately threw a pair of tongs, telling the doctor to push him out of the room, and then arranged for the doctor to give the other two sedatives. Seeing them sound asleep, Sasha put drugs into their clothes, changing their boss's number to his own. When they woke up, Sasha called, pretending to be their boss, saying that Sasha had gone to another country and demanded that they immediately pursue him. Indeed, the two fell for the trap. Just as those two left, something happened with police officer Gavrilov. He remembered drinking on the train and even showed everyone the scene at that time. After speaking, he stood on the doorstep, stretched his hand down, and even his falling posture was exactly the same. If this continues, Sasha's identity will be exposed sooner or later. Sasha could only take Gavrilov home to manage him himself. On the other hand, the two subordinates received a call from the real boss and knew they had been tricked. They immediately turned their car around to hunt for Sasha. That day, Sasha saw a super large billboard by the roadside with his picture on it and immediately called the mayor. The mayor said that to reward Sasha for rescuing the bank robbery, the mayor ordered his picture to be displayed all over town. "This is definitely going to kill me." Sasha was originally an imposter, always humble and discreet. This way, his old boss would surely find him immediately. As soon as Sasha hung up the phone, the two subordinates saw the billboard. In the morning, as Sasha went outside, he was stopped by his two former subordinates. The other party pulled out a gun. Sasha could only stand still and let himself be tied up, taking them to the police station to get the money. Sasha lied, "The money is in the office, but outsiders are not allowed in there." Sasha, alone, took the key and went inside. As soon as he closed the door, he immediately looked for another way out, secretly opened the ventilation duct, and then escaped through it. "You guys wait outside, I'm going first." Sasha secretly entered the office, took the money bag and jumped from the second floor, preparing to drive away. Unexpectedly, Nikolai, who was drunk, suddenly rushed towards the car, causing it to spin around. Everyone pulled Nikolai away, which finally ended the incident. Before that, the subordinate who had suffered a brain injury, not yet fully recovered, had rushed out of the hospital. This time, while on duty, he fainted. Sasha could only take the other party back to the hospital. The nurse said, "Only one person is allowed in the patient room." The subordinate, afraid Sasha would run away, let him in. This incident, just in time, created an opportunity for Sasha. Although the other party only had a heat stroke, Sasha asked the doctor to say it was a terminal illness. The doctor said, "Cherish your last moments." After hearing this, Sasha said, "The three of you can divide the money I stole equally. You're almost dead, don't listen to the boss anymore." The two subordinates agreed and left with the money. After the two left, Sasha pulled a blanket from another hospital bed. It turned out he had secretly hidden some of the money. Sasha took out a bill to thank the patient for giving him a place to stay. Natalia, dissatisfied with Sasha and Ludmila's relationship, went to Sasha's house and had relations with Gavrilov. Sasha suddenly returned, and Natalia cautiously left. Gavrilov saw the scene on the train on TV and suddenly remembered something. He opened Sasha's bag and saw that it was full of money. After Gavrilov finished using the restroom, all his previous memories flooded back. At that time, Gavrilov had coincidentally seen the money in Sasha's bag, and now he was impersonating him as police chief. So, while Sasha was bathing, Gavrilov took the money bag. Sasha was so angry that he mobilized everyone at the police station to arrest Gavrilov and ordered an officer to print out his picture. Natalia saw Gavrilov's picture and suddenly stopped the police officer who was printing it. Natalia thought that her relationship with Gavrilov had been discovered. "This time, Sasha did this for me." It turned out she told the other person to just print anyone's picture. So, the police officers carried the fake picture and searched everywhere. Seeing the police searching, Gavrilov quickly hid the money bag in a trash car. Coincidentally, Nikolai saw this scene. Gavrilov, feeling guilty, quickly ran away. Only after realizing that Nikolai was not there to arrest him did he let his guard down. As the two were talking, the trash car drove away. At the same time, the subordinate arrested the person who had printed the picture and brought him back. By the time Sasha arrived, he realized it was just a misunderstanding. Nikolai told Sasha where Gavrilov had gone. He quickly drove after him. At the same time, Natalia also arrived at the dump, pointing a gun at Gavrilov and threatening him, "Don't tell anyone about our relationship." Gavrilov wanted to run but was stopped by Sasha. Seeing that the money was still in the bag, Sasha felt at ease. Gavrilov was about to tell the truth when Natalia suddenly fired her gun, threatening Gavrilov to shut up. Then she voluntarily told everything and acknowledged that Sasha's fate was incredibly lucky. When his identity as a robber was about to be exposed, someone stepped up to be his shield. Sasha also followed Natalia's words, saying that he couldn't stand being cuckolded and had to bother everyone. Tomorrow, everyone will receive a bonus. After seeing the other police officers off, it was Sasha and Gavrilov's turn to settle things. Gavrilov said, "Now Sasha is the police chief, and he has a new life. I am willing to sell my police chief identity to him. Anyway, I don't want to take the position. You use the money in the bag to buy my position." Sasha agreed, but Gavrilov only took a portion of the money. Sasha and Ludmila lived happily together. Gavrilov took the money and lived a life of pleasure. Seeing his favorite band, he happily took out money and asked them to continue singing. While Gavrilov was drunk and happy, he accidentally revealed Sasha's full name. Coincidentally, Sasha's old boss overheard this. Gavrilov knelt on the ground and obediently revealed Sasha's current location. The next day, Sasha saw Ludmila's son being kidnapped and immediately realized it must have been sent by the boss. Sasha immediately ran downstairs but only picked up his son's dropped phone. Sasha learned that there was only one hotel nearby that accepted outside guests. Sasha went there alone. In the hallway, he saw two people in black and confirmed the exact room number. At the same time, the son in the room began to save himself. He used medicine to cut the tape on his hands. Hearing a noise outside, he secretly hid behind the door, holding a vase, and knocked out Sasha as he entered the room and ran out. When Sasha came to, he saw that Gavrilov was also tied up in the room. Hearing a noise outside, Sasha looked out and saw that both Ludmila and her son had been captured. Later, Sasha received a call from his old boss. He domineeringly threatened, if Ludmila and her son are missing even a single hair, he will surely not spare the boss. The two sides agreed to meet that night. Sasha arrived at the appointed place and faced his former subordinates. The boss didn't know how to address Sasha now. Should I call him chief of police? The subordinate took Sasha's gun. The boss ordered Ludmila to be brought out. Seeing that she was unharmed, Sasha also told Gavrilov to bring the money. Unexpectedly, Gavrilov was blinded by the money and decisively turned the car around and drove away. The boss was furious. "This kid, you dare to mess with me?" Sasha took the opportunity to grab the gun and took the boss hostage. The situation immediately became tense. At the crucial moment, two cars suddenly arrived, which were the government officials Sasha knew. The entire group of bosses was arrested. In addition, before coming here, Sasha had called the government official. Hearing Sasha voluntarily hand over the criminals to him, he immediately agreed. Sasha successfully rescued Ludmila and her son. Ludmila's son said, "I heard the two kidnappers in the hotel say that Sasha wasn't the real police chief, but I promised to keep it a secret. I firmly believe Sasha is a good person." Everything was about to end, but Sasha still had one thing to deal with. Gavrilov carried the money bag onto the train. Sasha opened the compartment door. This time, their seats had changed, and their identities had also changed. From here, Sasha's peaceful life officially began. The story ends here. This is the entire content of the movie Inspector Gavrilov. Do you think this movie is good? If you think it's good, comment with number 1. If you think it's just okay, comment with number 2. Thank you for your attention, goodbye, and see you again.